I'm Rachel Prince, and I am owner of the online vintage boutique, QuirkyFinds.com. That's QUIRKYFINDS.com. QuirkyFinds.com specializes in vintage purses, vintage and discontinued perfume and cologne, vintage compacts, and other vintage vanity accessories. I am here today to talk about perfume. Now, I started out as a vintage purse collector. Didn't know anything about perfume, care less about perfume. So one day I'm out on one of my quirky finds, and I come across this perfume bottle. It's pretty old, 1950s, in the box, filled with fragrance, and it was a really neat looking bottle. So I was like, what's this? It's kind of cool, and my eye is like drawn to cool looking things. So I took it home. Wait, I bought it first, then I took it home. And once I did some research on it, I was just like, whoa, perfume is just not perfume. I actually have, this is not the same bottle, but this is one exactly like it, minus the fragrance and the box. But the bottle that I found is Cassandra by Well. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful column-shaped bottle, and it is designed by Baccarat. So from my research, I discovered that fragrance houses would often commission famous glass makers such as René Lalique or Baccarat to do their interpretation of a perfume or of a fragrance. So that means designing the glass, the artwork, the presentation, the whole nine. So I was just like, wow, this is like collecting art, literally. So I fell in love with commercial bottles, like to the point where I'm dreaming about bottles like every other night. Literally dreaming about bottles. It's getting a little weird, but hey, that's part of my thing. So I brought today a couple of commercial bottles. Now I have hundreds and hundreds, and then plus I have hundreds and hundreds that are on the website. So if I was to sit here and show you all the bottles, this would be a very long video. So I'll go through just a couple of them that I have. This here, this beautiful cut glass pyramid bottle is from Lechon. I jack up the name all the time. Lucien Lelong, Open at Night. This bottle here is Mavis, 1912 Dragonfly bottle. I don't know if you can see the dragonflies in there. Art Deco style bottle. This guy right here is Prince Duca by Marquet. And he does a little strip tease for you. You open him up, and he is filled with fragrance, which I have not dared open. And this beautiful Figaro bottle, she's one of my favorites, 1939-ish, from Eisenberg, and you're going to read Suburban on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Those are just some of my favorite bottles. Now, there are also presentation sets, and this is from Coty, Le Mans. And people assume with vintage fragrance that the perfume or the cologne will go bad, and that is not always the case. So if it is stored out of the light and in a cool, dry place, the fragrance will keep. So many people will visit the website searching for a fragrance that they used to wear, or their mother would wear, or grandmother, or a bit of nostalgia. So I carry a lot of that on the site as well. But like me, I just collect the bottles. I don't really go for the fragrance. I just love the bottles. So as I did more research on perfume, I learned about minis. Now, miniature perfume bottles, this is a whole other category that there's a lot of people that collect miniature bottles. Now, miniatures are replicas of the actual perfume bottle, and they weren't meant for sale, but they were given away as samples or free gifts. And this here is a miniature bottle of Prince Machiavelli, Crown Jewel. This here is Beloved. Here is a miniature Ralph Lauren of the classic Saint Laurent. Pretty little red bottle. And this one here is Les Du Temps by Nina Ricci. It is a replica of the famous Two Doves Lalique design bottle. So miniatures are pretty collectible. This one here, this isn't a miniature, but this is a pendant, and this is Le du Temps. It's a pretty rare pendant, designed by Lalique. So, I mean, there's so many forms of perfume. Perfume jewelry, perfume everything. And this one here, this is not a miniature, but this is a presentation set that I forgot to show you. This is a pretty bottle by Cody. And here we go. And these were often given out, or they were sold during Christmas time or during the holiday season, like they do today. So that's commercial bottles. That's my love. But there are other people that collect so many different forms of perfume. Here we have fatises. I'm going to tell you what a fatise is. Fatises are oversized perfume bottles that were sent to department stores to house watercolor liquid made to look like perfume. So they were display pieces, and they would sit on the counter, and they become really collectible. Sometimes you'll find them filled with actual fragrance. It's pretty rare, but it can happen. I actually have a couple pieces that are filled with fragrance. Here's another one by Caron or Infinity. Can you see it? Oops. And this is a dummy bottle, a Fatise bottle. And this was put on the counter for a display piece. So those are pretty collectible, the whole category of Fatises. Let me see. We also have atomizers, which are very collectible. What you would do, you would fill the bottle with fragrance. The bulb is hard in here, but they can be replaced. And that's where they were normally kept on a dresser. And here is a jeweled atomizer. I don't know if you can see, this is by Iris. And the depression glass. Pink depression glass, sorry. De Vilbis is a very collectible atomizer bottle. And there are also decorative cut glass bottles like Czechoslovakian bottles. I have a couple of them, which I'll do a video of just product, because I couldn't possibly show everything here. So yeah, that's my love for perfume and commercial bottles. And these are just some of my pieces, but I really do have a nice large collection. And there's plenty of bottles on the site. I also want to talk to you about this beautiful organization that I belong to called the IPBA, which stands for the International Perfume Bottle Association. And the IPBA is a non-for-profit group made up of perfume bottle collectors like me. And so what we do, there's local chapters throughout cities all over the world, and we meet up and we talk about perfume bottles and what we found and what we want to find, and just the history of the bottles. And it's just bottles, and it's a really great organization for collectors. And once a year we go to convention. Last year was my first year at convention, and literally hundreds and hundreds of members come to one city, and it's 4 days of talking about perfume. And a couple of highlights of the convention, the exhibit hall. So if there's something rare that you're looking for, most likely you'll find it at the exhibit hall. There's crazy beautiful bottles everywhere. It's like all the dreams that I have came true when I went to the exhibit hall, because just really rare bottles. I was in heaven, literally. And the perfume bottle auction. And the auction is one of the largest perfume auctions in the world. And last year was really cool, because there was this, I think it was 1928 or 26 Marshall Fields bottle that the person that put it in the auction, she didn't pay that much money for it, and no one had seen a bottle like it. The bottle went for $30,000. Yes, I said $30,000. It was like watching a tennis match. I mean, the bidding was like crazy, and everyone was like, what the heck? So it was so exciting. I had such a wonderful time. So please visit the website for the IPBA, perfumebottles.org. Visit quirkyfinds.com. That's QUIRKYFIND. Thank you. Bye.